Hello friends, my name is Steph, and if you haven't been here before, I absolutely love a whole bunch of gentle cozy games, including the likes of Animal Crossing and The Sims 4. But today we are going to look at one of my absolute favourites at the moment, Moonstone Island. This was one of my first gifted games when it was released on PC by the devs, and remains one of my favourites as I've also purchased it since it's released on the Nintendo Switch. If you haven't come across this game before, Moonstone Island is an adorable creature collecting life sim set in an open world with 100 islands to explore. With each of the maps being unique when you start a new save file, the possibilities are endless as you set out on an adventure to become an alchemist and collect the cutest little spirits along the way. Think Studio Ghibli's Kiki's Delivery Service meets Pokemon. You capture wild spirits through card-based encounters and level them up to progress through the 4 seasonal temples: spring, summer, fall, and winter. There are also different elemental spirits you can find on your journey, including earth, poison, fire, electric, psychic, and dark. Have I piqued your interest yet? If you are a complete beginner like me when it comes to turn-based games, here are some of the 10 things that I wish I had known when I started in the game. Number 1. During the early parts of the game, be sure to collect absolutely everything. It can be super tricky making sure that you have enough fibre, wood and stone for all of the essential items in the early game to help make your life easier. So make sure that you collect lots of items that restore your stamina so that you can knock down all of the trees and stones that you come across. The earlier in the game that you can get the resources to build items such as the spirit barn, which allows you to store more than the 3 spirits you can carry around in your medallion, and the glider, which makes island hopping way easier, the better. No more falling off the end of your broom or the balloon. Following on from number 1, make sure you tame a worm. This little wiggly guy is not just a pretty face. Worm changes the game when it comes to collecting fibre, as they act like a little lawnmower when they are asked to follow you around, making it super easy to get tons of fibre to feed all of your spirits. Also, look at him. He is everything. Such a cutie. All of that fibre will also help you with point number 3. Don't forget to feed your spirits. Once you are able to tame any level 5 spirit, Zed will give you the recipe for a spirit barn. As your medallion can only hold 3 spirits at any one time, this gives you space to start collecting lots of different spirits. Once you have built your barn, you can make stalls using the Moonstone Enchanter. Once you have placed your stalls and tamed some spirits to stay in them, make sure you feed your spirits, otherwise they'll run away, and that will do no good for your alchemist reputation. It's also good to know that once you tame a psychic spirit, more of this in the next point, Zed will give you a recipe for a never-ending spirit stall feeder, so make sure you set aside some moonstones and start making these early in the game so that you aren't trying to catch up replacing them all later on, as you can upgrade the size of your spirit barn. Moving on to number 4, make sure you take to the skies at night for your chance of finding a psychic island. So, I mentioned a psychic spirit in point number 3. Psychic storms happen after 8 PM and turn one given island into a psychic ground for spirits and resources alike. Not only will you encounter special spirits like this adorable bunch, but you will also have the chance to grab some special crops with some great buffers, including gaining XP, plus 100 in the form of the eye berry found in summer, replenishing HP from the ghost shroom, plus 100 in fall, and tame from the snowdrop, plus 100 in winter. If you grab the seeds for these crops, you can boost these stats even higher with some fertilizer. Also, if you love getting all of the quests ticked off like me, it also helps with satisfying the seed quest earlier in the game. Point number 5. Don't get too ambitious too quickly when it comes to taming spirits. As you level up your spirits, it can be easy to start aiming for taming some of the higher spirits to get some more powerful spirits for your crew. However, until you have unlocked it in your skill tree, you will be limited as to what level spirit you can tame up to. You can earn spiritmancy points by taming, feeding and hatching spirits. It is important you work on these skills to ensure you can unlock the beginner spiritmancer skill as early as possible to be able to tame spirits up to level 10 and build up from there. Otherwise, you end up doing what I did a lot in my first playthrough, which was waste all of my taming crops on spirits that I couldn't even tame. Number 6. Make the most of the tavern. Something that I did not do enough early in my first playthrough is make the most of the tavern on Moonstone Island. You can buy coffee from a sawmill, which will increase your speed by 10% for one day, although sadly does not stack. All of the NPCs will gather here every Friday, so you can take the time to go and socialise with them all, as well as there being a spare room for you to sleep in if you cannot make it home in time from the warp whistle fountain for only 50 coins per night. Number 7. Don't forget to utilise your tool wheel. As you progress through the game, you will have all sorts of tools at your disposal, and it can be easy to forget what they all do. I will always say to prioritise making the glider, as this is the easiest way to get around the islands. However, don't forget what the other tools can do. I was shocked when another player told me that they navigated the dungeons using bridges to get across the gaps, whereas I had always used either a balloon or my broom, which they hadn't thought about. Keep checking to see what nifty things your tools can do as you progress across your map. Number 8. Keep your deck small and powerful. If you are used to card-based encounter games, then this might not be news to you. But for myself, who is new to this style of combat, it took a long time to figure out how best to curate my spirit decks. Early game, I found that shield breakers are invaluable, as well as ensuring that you prioritise the cards associated with your spirit's elements. That way, you can capitalise on your opponent's weaknesses. Always be sure to check which elements they are weak to, as not only will the hit be stronger, but you also have the ability to break shields with these cards. Also, remember you do not have to add a card every time you level up your spirit, if your choices are not going to be of value to your deck. Make sure that each card has a purpose in your lineup. Curating your spirits decks will take time, and likely a lot of failing, but that is all part of the fun. Number 9. Make the most of the talismans in each season. One thing that really helps with your spirit decks, especially if you tame a more advanced spirit, is by utilising the talismans dotted around the map. They are refreshed once per season, and you can collect talismans to either upgrade, remove, or add cards to your spirit decks. They are dotted around the map, and you can easily see them once you have discovered an island, so make sure you're making the most of these. Also, keep an eye out for Waldo, otherwise known as the Magic Man, aka the OG, and best NPC in the game, in my opinion. He sells special cards for your spirits, as well as a random talisman every day if you can find him, or if he finds you. Last but most certainly not least, number 10. You don't have to catch them all, but how could you not want to? Whilst it is not necessarily required to collect all of the spirits in the game, they are all so flippin' adorable, and why wouldn't you want to? With Dropple, Shrubbin, Lookachu, and Honkshoe, as some cute examples, I would keep upgrading your spirit barn just to be able to take care of all of these lovely spirits. I even personally have a spreadsheet to plan my completely upgraded spirit barn to keep track of them all, alongside their funky holographic counterparts. Just a few things that I have learned during my time playing my first playthrough of Moonstone Island. Now that the game has been released on the Switch, I have started a fresh playthrough, and I am thoroughly enjoying going through all of these early game phases again. I would love to know if you've also played the game and what your thoughts are, especially if you want to share your favourite spirit. Mine is currently Shrubbin. I mean, look at him. Although on second thoughts, he is often targeted in combat, but oh well. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to come to you soon with some more variety gaming content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!